right, so let's see how that plays out in terms of concluding and buttoning down those coalition arrangements in all of those over 60 municipalities. The clock really is ticking for them to be able to do that, those political parties. And the worst that could happen in many of these instances is that we could end up with a by-election in some of those municipalities to try and settle the matter once and for all. Let's hope it doesn't get to that. Let's hope they find one another in the coming days. Well, to the courts now, and the trial of the leader of the Rivers of Living Waters ministry is set to begin in Pretoria today. Bishop Stephen Zondo is facing charges of rape, indecent assault, and defeating the ends of justice. It is alleged that the crimes started in the 1980s and continued until 2018. Let me take you to ENCA's Pulele Chwiti-Jones, who is covering that story for us and has an update from court. So the start of trial, Pule, is a major milestone in the evolution of a criminal matter. Tell us what has happened today. Has the trial started, and who was the witness that was called?
Well, Tulis, what we understand right now is that Bishop Stephen Zondo has pleaded not guilty to all 10 counts of rape leveled against him. Currently, we do understand that some of these incidences stem from 1980 to 2018. But, you know, entering the dock, he has made it quite clear and distancing himself from any wrongdoing. But there's been quite a lot of arguments that have been exchanged between the defense and the state, primarily around the issue of witnesses having now to appear on camera to testify. We do know that before the CRL commission, some of them did go on camera to testify, and that's the defense argument, saying that that's the reason why they want them to come out publicly and testify in court. But that's something the judge will be handing down a ruling on in just a few minutes from now. But of course, civic organizations have of course come to court this morning to come and also raise some of their voices. Just earlier in the morning, we understand that a group of those who were pledging their allegiance and supporting Bishop Zondo were, of course, demonstrating and, of course, picketing outside the court. But joining me now is one of those from the civic organization group, not in my name, Tema Masango. We've been following this case for a while. So now witnesses have been told to come to court today just to testify, but there's been a technicality around whether they should appear on camera or not. You guys really recently released a statement saying you're coming after rogue men of God in a purple cloth.
Definitely, Pule. As you know, that the crime of gender-based violence and especially rape of minors is really a pandemic in this country. And what we are seeing strongly coming out is that churches have also become crime scenes. And men of God are misusing their power and their positions in society and actually luring young girls and making sure that young girls exchange sexual favors for them and so on. We are here to say that justice must be served. We are not judges in this case, but we are saying that it is not right where we are every single month in this country hearing about a man of God who is abusing their power and doing heinous things to children and to women. That thing must come to an end. And we are saying that if this case is ongoing, the bishop should step aside from his work and his service in the church until such time that this case has been ventilated in this competent court. And we are just hoping that the court will be actually go through this case step by step, the victims protected, but also justice must be served. We need to make sure that there is a clear judgment that comes out, and so that we don't have these issues going forward in this country.
Timber, this case also comes at a crucial time, just days before 16 days of activism against gender-based violence as well. You've heard for yourself Bishop Zondo pleading not guilty to those 10 counts of rape as well. What is your reaction on that as a civil society?
Indeed, I mean, as I've just said that, gender-based violence in this country is skyrocketing. It is a pandemic in itself in this country, and we need courts like these to actually make sure that they send out a strong message to would-be perpetrators and perpetrators, and we need to stand up as a country holistically to be able to fight against these crimes. We cannot afford to have so-called safe spaces like churches becoming crime scenes in the country. So we need to make sure that the integrity of the church and those who actually come to church is safeguarded. That is why we are furthermore calling on the bishop to step aside from his duties until such time that this court case has been ventilated and there's a clear judgment as to whether he's guilty or not. But we cannot afford to have these aspersions being cast on churches. 10 counts is nothing to be joking about, of assault and of rape. And we heard the bishop saying that he is not guilty on any of them, and the trial is going to resume. We are hoping that it's going to be done speedily, accurately, and justice at the end of the day needs to be served. We need to make sure that our churches are safe places and people can trust going to church. At this rate, it's fast becoming a very, very difficult space to be in. And we are calling on all other men of God to stand up and to say that they are against these type of behaviors and allegations that come out in churches.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bule.
All right, there you go, Timba Masango from Norimaneme. Tulas making it quite clear that firstly they're calling for the bishop to actually step aside from his services while this case is still ongoing. Secondly, for the calling out of more, men of cloth, bishops, pastors, to actually condemn such behavior that's taking place in churches. And we do understand that this trial is expected to go for about 2 weeks, with about 10 witnesses expected to testify as well. It is going to be quite a long trial that we will be following, but also interesting developments there around as to how the state and, of course, witnesses will prove their case against what they say are serious allegations and, of course, counts against Bishop Stephen Zondo.
All right, thank you for that. That's ENCA's Puleli Treaty-Jones updating you on that trial there of Bishop Stephen Zondo, which has gotten underway, as you heard from Pule there, with the bishop pleading not guilty to all the counts that have been leveled against him.